I got a call once from a government agency asking me to quote on a job that would have been a really big job, a lot of money. I spent afternoon, a day putting together a bit of a quote, but I had questions and I was trying to reach the person in charge and she wasn't in. And I got her on the phone the next day when she came back into the office and she called me and I ran through my questions. She came to an understanding that I was putting a serious estimate together. Of course I was. They approached me about doing this job. And she said to me, and I'll never forget it, she said, to be honest with you, we already know the photographer that we're going to hire, but we need to get 3 estimates every time we do a job in order to fulfill our obligations of getting a triple bid on every job. I was furious. I had spent an entire day, I had wasted an entire day when they knew they had no intention of hiring me and they were just wasting my time and another photographer's time. And I said to her very directly, I said, do you understand you've wasted an entire day of my time? I had other things that I was working on, but I dropped them to get this estimate to you because I was told it needed to be in 24 hours. And she said, well, I'm really sorry about that. And I said, but you're wasting not only my time, you're wasting time of someone else who's also put an estimate together. And I said, have you done this before? Have you done this triple bid process before knowing who you were going to hire already? And she said, yeah, we have to do this every time. And I said, don't you have a preferred vendors list? She said, yeah, we do. I said, why don't you just get the photographer that you know you're going to hire and get them onto your preferred vendors list and just use them as a vendor so you don't have to go through the charade of a triple bid process wasting other photographers' times. Every single time you need to do a photo shoot. And she said, I never thought of it, and that sounds like a good idea, and I'm very sorry for wasting your time. It's nice that she was apologetic, but at the same time, this is the incident that just kind of broke the camel's back for me, and it made me develop 2 questions that I ask now whenever I understand, like, it's a job coming in that's direct to client. It's not going through an agency or a marketing firm or anything like that. I'm dealing directly with a client, and specifically a corporate client. I will ask them 2 questions. The first question is this part of a triple bid process? And if they say yes, then the second question is, do you already know who you're going to hire? I asked them directly, and on a number of occasions, I've gotten the answer yes. And I said, then I am not submitting an estimate to you. If you already know who you're going to hire, there's no point in me submitting an estimate to you because you're just wasting my time. So I always ask those 2 questions now. If the answer to the second question is, no, we're soliciting 3 people to work with on this project and we have no idea who we're going to hire, then you will get an estimate from me. But if you know who you're going to hire, like, that's a practice that I think needs to end. There seems to be some understanding in the corporate world that everything needs a triple bid process. Even if you know who you're going to hire, you still need to get 2 more estimates to be fiscally accountable. Even though it doesn't matter, you're not actually looking at the number because you're still going to hire the same person, even if they're more expensive than any of the other bids that you get. So I always ask those 2 questions. Is this part of a triple bid process? And do you know who you're going to hire? It has saved me countless hours of putting estimates together for people who already knew they weren't going to hire me. At the same time, when I've gotten, no, we don't know who we're going to hire, I've done the estimate and I've gotten the job on a number of occasions. So ask the questions. Save yourself some time. Save yourself the hassle. I really think the whole triple bid process is nonsense. If you know who you're going to hire, or just do your research and hire the best person for the job. I remember when I was working at a national association, and they had 3 firms pitching them for a large website redevelopment project. This was in the tens of thousands of dollars. They had 3 firms come in and do full presentations, and they had like full decks, and they were scheduled on different days, and they didn't know who they were going to hire. But of those 3, they definitely knew one that they weren't going to hire. And so in their minds, they had already decided between 2, but they still made the 3rd company go through the entire process of putting a pitch deck together and coming in and doing a presentation, wasting their time developing a deck, wasting their time putting a presentation together, wasting everyone's time in the room who had to sit through the presentation. Not only the people delivering it, but like my time was wasted because we knew they weren't going to be hired. I really wish corporations would stop doing this and get a vendors list set up. Work with photographers that you know and trust. If you do need to go through a triple bid process, make it honest, run it with integrity. If you want to work with the same person that you've worked with for a number of years, just get them in as a vendor. I have a client who I've worked with for 9 years now. And when I initially pitched to them, they hired me. And since then, I haven't had to compete for a job from them with any other photographer. It's good to have an established, developed relationship. From a corporate perspective, it's good to have trusted suppliers. But if you have a trusted supplier, don't waste the time of other people. As a photographer, make sure that you're not wasting your time and ask in advance if the triple bid process is an honest process that they are participating in, or if they just feel like they need to fulfill an obligation and deliver estimates from 3 different vendors to make it look like they've actually done their due diligence. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button. Subscribe if this is the first video of mine that you're seeing and you think you want to see more videos like this. And then check out this video here, which talks about a clause that I have in all of my contracts that came directly from Steven Spielberg. Until next time, take care.